Hi there. Welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever it may be for you. I have decided to go live every day, maybe not on weekends, I'm not sure yet, for the rest of February. This is February 17th, so it gives me 2 weeks. So we'll see how it goes. And I wanted to come on here today and talk to you about your money memories. We all know that decluttering is important, right? We all know that. But generally, when we talk about decluttering, we think about physical clutter. And while that is extremely important, it is also essential to clear your money memories. Because those money memories from your childhood, from your teen years, from your 20s, your 30s, your 40s, whatever it may be, because we make them all the time. It's not like we stopped at a certain time. They have led to the stories that you have told yourself and that you continue to tell yourself and that your subconscious mind has stored away about money and how easy or not it is to come by, how it supports you or not, how safe or not it is to have money. All those things. And that's why we want to uncover them and then clear them. And I'm going to tell you exactly how to do that in this video. So keep watching. It's really simple. I mean, to clear your memories, you have to accept them, acknowledge them and accept them. You have to forgive them. And more importantly, you have to forgive yourself, to forgive your own soul. And you have to love. There you have it. That's it. Those 3 steps. So, but I'm not going to leave you with that. We're going to go over this 3-step process on how to declutter and eliminate your negative money memories. And the thing is, I do want to give you a spoiler alert. This is kind of a never-ending process because you are constantly making new memories. Constantly. It's not like you can clear them and voila, everything is clear and free and you'll never have another negative memory. Because you know what? You're making new memories every single day. And a good chunk of them have to do with money. So, I know there's a glare and I can't help it, but I can't see without these things. Well, maybe I lift my head like that. Or I can look down. Look like Diana looking over her glasses, looking over, out from under to look at the cameras. So I do want to let me go through this 3-step process. First step is you make a list. You make a list of about 20 or so money memories, especially any that have a negative emotional charge to them, like anger, resentment, shame, or guilt. The more memories you list, the better. I suggest starting with about 20, and then you can add to it every day. Because like I said, you're not going to run out of them. And you do not have to do all this at once. 15 minutes. If you get through 20, that's great. If you get through 5, that's great. Do 15 minutes the next day. And what you want to do is you want to get as specific as you can about these memories without writing a dissertation on any of them. You're just writing down enough that when you come back to it, you don't have to go, what was that? I don't know what that means. You want to have enough written down, enough written down that it makes it clear for you. So some examples are things like when I spent all my birthday money and my dad told me that money burned a hole in my pocket. When the time my brother got roller skates for Christmas when I was the one who wanted them. Yeah, that happened when I was little. Or the time that my brother got a present on my birthday, which is in April, and I didn't get one on his because it's in December. Or the many, many, many times I heard people say, nobody goes into teaching to make money. Teachers don't make enough money. Heard that from day one. And some ideas to get you started are think about your major life events, special celebrations, Christmas, birthdays, weddings, memories that your parents or family members may have said. Maybe it wasn't something that happened to you. It doesn't have to be something that happened to you. It could be something they talked about. For instance, I heard my parents talk about growing up dirt poor, their phrase, which I, of course, took on. Um, both of my parents grew up on cotton farms, picked cotton day in and day out. I tried it once. It's not easy. I did it when I was about 6, and I didn't like it. I got half of a little pillowcase, about this much, and it was terrible. So there's that. It might be what they said about rich people. I heard for years things like nobody needs that kind of money. Nobody needs. He's got enough money. He can quit playing, sports athletes. So it doesn't have to be something that happened to you. Like I said, it could be something that somebody else said. It could be stories that you heard. You might have heard stories about one of your relatives being robbed or having lost a lot of money. Maybe you've heard the story about your great great grandfather having lost money in the stock market crash or during the war or something. That could that could be it. That could be your memory because it's in your memories because you've heard it so much. Does that make sense? It could also be, like if there's been any criminal activity or theft towards you. You may have heard my story about being defrauded of $200,000. That would count. It could be a divorce or a death or an illness, where you lost a lot of money or you worried even about losing a lot of money. Or even that after a death, maybe you received an inheritance and you felt guilt about it. It happens a lot. Another area you might look at is your career. Things that have been said about your career and money. As I said, I heard about teaching. Nobody goes into teaching to make money. Teachers don't make enough money. So if that's been said about your industry, that's something to write down. Maybe it was contract negotiations that didn't go well. Maybe it's old resentments about former colleagues or bosses or unfair treatment. Or it could even be something like you may have thought that somebody was getting promoted who didn't deserve it. And you made comments, or you heard comments, you listened to comments, you laughed about comments being made about that person. It might be about companies or organizations that cheated you out of money they owed you, or that they still owe you money. Another area is relationships, friendships, any abuse, mental, verbal, emotional, or physical. Your exes or friends' attitudes about money. Yes, your friends' attitudes, even today, about money, become your memories because you're listening to them, you hear them. So, any anger or resentments that you may have toward people, especially as it amounts to money, it might be something that they said somewhere along the way that just triggered you and you think about it on occasion. It might be comments that your exes or friends have made about you and your money. Times you felt judged about your career, your pay, your finances, whether it was low or whether it was high. Whether you had no money or whether you had a lot of money at the time. Exes or friends who were more or less financially stable than you. It may be about old debts that old friends or exes owe you and that you feel like you're never going to get back. Maybe you've written those off. Could be another area is yourself. Mistakes that you have made with money. Bad investments, business deals, decisions about money that you've made and regretted, unpaid or uncollected debts, debts you now have. Overspending, refusing to spend. Judgments that you might have about rich people or about how other people spend their money. And I will tell you that right now, this one is a difficult one for many people here in the United States with things that are going on. It's difficult not to have judgments. We certainly hear them a lot. So we have to forgive those things. I'm going to get to that part in a minute. Another area you might want to look at is any thoughts that you have picked up from movies, television, books, or from other people. Now, as I've told you before, I'm a huge Disney fan. But when I look at Disney's role models for wealth, they're not great. They're really not great. Disney makes poverty look and feel. Those are the people we always feel for in the movies. They're the ones we have empathy for. Bob Cratchit and Tiny Tim as opposed to Uncle Scrooge. which of course comes from Dickens. um, we feel for Cinderella, who's on her knees scrubbing and in tatters. We certainly don't really care for the evil stepmother. And how about the evil queen? Nope, we're not on her side. We're on Snow White's side. So the role models for wealth were not very good. So think about that too. Society has really given us some. Now, what you're going to do after you make your list, and I would suggest working on your list for 4 or 5 days before you move to step two. Like I said, do 15 minutes a day. Or pick a number. You're going to get 5 a day. Can't come up with 5 in any one sitting. But 15 minutes a day is great. After you've done this for a few days and you have 20 to 30 to 100, yeah, I'd go for 100 in total, but not at once. That's why I say 20. Start with 20 and work your way up. Look for patterns, because your memories create small decisions about your money, your ability to earn it, and your ability to keep it. Those little decisions create stories, which create patterns, which create your reality. So look for the patterns. Where there's some things like, I never get what I want. Every time I want something, somebody else gets it. Maybe it's money makes people greedy, stingy, mean, and nasty. Maybe it's I don't deserve nice things. I'm not worthy of nice things. Or I can't trust anybody because I always get cheated. People never do what they're supposed to do. I'm always disappointed when I set big goals. Anything like that. And then step 3 is you're going to clear and forgive. Now, there are multiple ways to forgive. You've probably heard of one of my favorites, Ho'oponopono. And if you haven't, Ho'oponopono it was popularized back in the 70s by Dr. long name, Lou Hen, I believe was his name. I always get it wrong and have to look it up. Now, what he did was, well, back up for a second. Ho'oponopono, traditional Ho'oponopono, goes back to the kahunas and was actually done kind of in the discussion mode. And this was, in most of the Pacific Islands. Most people think of it as being Hawaiian, but it was really done in the Pacific Islands. So, but Dr. Liu popularized it in the 70s, like I said, and he was going to work with some prisoners. And so what he did was he had their files and their pictures, and he went through and he looked at each one of their pictures, and he did this mantra with their photos before he ever met or talked to or knew anything about any of them. He did that. And the wardens told him, later the warden told him that these prisoners began to change. They began to clear up, and some of them started admitting what they had done instead of constantly saying, it's not my fault, I didn't do it. They started to admit what they had done. So, that's how it became popularized. And so I'm going to give you that, but I'm also going to give you a couple of other things you can say. Just give me 1 second. Why is this not opening? Okay, I'm trying to open up another document. Okay, anyway, Ho'oponopono starts with, it's basically, I'm sorry, please forgive me, I thank you, I love you. Now, I tend to not say I'm sorry, because when I say I'm sorry, I hear this little bratty kid from 2nd grade saying, I know you are, but did you apologize? Which just really always drove me crazy. So I don't say that. I say instead, I apologize. And you can choose which to do, whatever's right for you. But when you're saying, I apologize, and first of all, know that you are not speaking this directly to the person. First of all, the person may not be in your life. Secondly, they might not even be on this planet anymore. They may have passed on. So you're saying it to your own soul. You're really saying, I apologize for holding on to this memory, for sticking this in my subconscious and creating this story. Please forgive me. And you're thanking your soul for letting you go through this experience and learn. And you're telling your soul that you love it. Okay? That's all it really is. But it can also be that you are thinking about a particular person and you are saying, I apologize for my part in it. Please forgive me for hanging on to this, for any resentment or anger I may have toward you. Thank you for the lesson. I love you like I love all of God's creatures. And I forgive you. Now see, I forgive you was added to it. This is kind of my version of Ho'oponopono. And I know that with my version, it can be very difficult to say I love you when you're thinking about someone who you feel like harmed you. So I know in the beginning when I first did this, especially with the person who defrauded me of $200,000, I found it very difficult to say that. So instead I would say things like, God bless you. I want to love you like I love everybody else. I love you as a human. And I forgive you was also difficult. That became very much of, well, I don't, in fact, I think I said I don't hate you a few times with the I love you. The I forgive you, it can be anything like, I want to forgive you. May God forgive you. May God bless you. It depends on where you are in your spiritual journey as to what you may say. So feel free to change these up a little bit. And a couple of others I want to give you in case you don't like that one is I forgive everyone and everything. Everyone and everything forgives me. Doors open fully to the awaiting abundance of possibilities. I forgive everyone and everything. Everyone and everything forgives me. Doors open fully to the awaiting abundance of possibilities. Okay? Nice and simple. Or you can even just go so far as to say every night, I forgive everyone. I forgive, I forgive, I forgive. Nice and simple. And what I'd like you to do is after you feel like you've done this, as you focus on each memory, you'll go back and you'll focus on one memory at a time and do one of these mantras, any one of them. And as you feel like, wow, I don't feel any emotional charge anymore. Some of them you may not feel an emotional charge as soon as you do it. And that's great. Others you're going to read and you're going, oh God, this. As you say it, you're going to feel your jaw clenching. So as you forgive it and you start to realize you don't feel the emotional charge anymore, I want you to cross it out. Cross it out, write BS on it if you want to, spell out BS if you want to, because it will make you realize that you're letting go of those emotions. You're letting go of those memories. You're not forgetting the memory. You're not losing the memory. This is not, shock therapy. You still have the memory, but now you remember it simply as facts, not as an emotional story. This is really simple. It's really powerful, and it works. People have always said, oh, just let it go. Long before Elsa said it, people would say, let it go. Just get over it. Well, easier said than done, right? Not anymore. Now, it's really simple to let it go, to get over it, to move on. I do want to let you know, you may feel really tired after this. You may feel exhausted after this. So that's why I say, 15, 20 minutes a day, because you don't want to overtax yourself. Remember that the forgiveness is for you. It's not for other people. Confucius said, holding on to a grudge, and I'm paraphrasing here, holding on to a grudge is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. Well, when you don't forgive, that's exactly what you're doing. Remember that forgiving is not condoning behavior. It's not saying, hey, it's okay, come do it again. No, this is for you. This is for your soul. So you can let go. You might cry when you do this. You might feel relieved. You might feel unburdened. You might feel lighter. And you might feel absolutely nothing. Nothing. And that's okay too. And you might need to repeat this process on some items later. As I said, some things are going to have more of an emotional charge and will take you longer. So no matter what you feel, it's fine. Trust that process. Just trust the process. So I hope you'll give this a try. Clear some of your money memories. Let go of them. Let it go. You can even sing the song if you want to. But mainly, forgive. Forgive yourself for holding on to it. Forgive the other person or persons involved. Forgive family members, colleagues, supervisors for telling you that you didn't make enough money, for not paying you enough, for not promoting you but promoting somebody else. Whatever it may have been. I'd love to hear your comments when you've tried this. Give it a shot. Let me know how it goes. Even if you only try it with 2 memories, give that a try. But I really think if you do it for 15 minutes a day, every day for a week, you're going to come up with a lot of memories to forgive. And you're going to feel so much better. And money is going to feel so much better around you, because now you're not telling it how evil it is. So give it a try, and I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.